Hi, my name is Carmen. I'm currently 20 years old. I'm from Nelspruit in Pumalanga, and I used to be an au pair in a suburb called Parkland, which is in Florida.
Fantastic. Carmen, when did you get back from your au pairing experience?
I got back from America on the 8th of August, 2013.
And how long were you over there in total?
I was there for a total of 18 months, and then I had a month of travel, which I stayed in Florida.
Fantastic. And when you got to the end of your first year, was it an obvious choice to stay on for another 6 months?
It was for me, but also I wanted to make sure with my host parents that they actually wanted me to be there. I loved America. I loved everything about it. I was also lucky enough to have a great host family, wonderful kids, although they weren't amazing in the beginning. They needed a little bit of work. But I just spoke to my host parents because myself and my host mother never always had the best relationship. And I wanted to make sure that she actually wanted me there because of me, and she just didn't want me there because she didn't want to have to go through the process of finding a new girl. But it actually turned out that it was all in my head. My host mother loved me, and actually, at the end of my 18 months with them, asked me to change my visa over to a student visa and stay with them. So it was an obvious choice, but there are hard times, and of course I did miss my family, but the whole American experience, I really just didn't want to give it up.
Brilliant. When you first decided to do this, what was the inspiration that sort of said to you, I want to be an au pair?
Well, for me, I'd been to America once before when I was 13, and I absolutely loved it. And I've always been great with kids. I'm one of those people that I think I'm born to be a mother. I always have to be around kids. I'm very good with them. And I love traveling. So, it was a perfect fit for me. I actually went to my school, the guidance counselor, and I queried about it. And it just so happened that there was a seminar that evening. So it all just turned out to be fate. And as I said, I think I'm great with kids, and I just really wanted an experience.
Before embarking on your experience overseas to become an au pair, what was your biggest fear?
I think homesickness, how much I'd miss home and my family, especially my sister, because I'm very close to her. And also how it would turn out with the family. Would I be placed with a good family? Okay, my biggest fear was ultimately having to rematch if something went wrong. But that's why I was very careful during the interview process to make sure that not only did I choose a family that thought that I was right for them, but that the family would be right for me. That I would fit into everything, and that they weren't some crazy loonies that would drive me up the wall.
Brilliant. A lot of the au pairs, when they're filling out all these forms to go overseas, they sort of think to themselves, what is all this for? In retrospect, do you feel that the matching process was reasonably well done?
Yes, I do, because you go through a lot of information that you have to go through. You give out a lot of information about yourself so that you find a family that you'll be a perfect fit for. This way, you don't have to keep rematching. And also, they give you a lot of information and try and teach you and tell you what you can expect so that you don't go out there and then it's a complete shock to you. So as much, you do need to get all the necessary information that they need, and also the amount of hours as well, so that because you're with the kids full time, and you don't want to go there and feel that this is too much for you.
One of the things that we pride ourselves in at the OVC is to make sure that we give the most honest and straightforward, and sometimes we're too honest with regards the information that we put across, and people sort of say, well, I don't want to do this, but the most important thing for us is to make sure that we get the right caliber of people. For you and your experience with your OVC consultant, if I can ask you to be brutally honest, what was your experience?
My experience was great from the beginning. My consultant helped me with everything that I needed, and she was also very honest. She said, yes, it's going to be a great experience, but you're not going for a holiday. You are going to work, and there are times where it's going to be hard, and you are most definitely going to get homesick. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I never rematched or I didn't come home, because I was given a lot of information. I did a lot of my own research, so I knew it was going to be tough, you know, and I was helped from day one with getting all the information I needed, help with my video and uploading my photos. So overall, it was great.
In the application process, if I may ask, what was the most frustrating thing for you? A lot of people say the video is very difficult to put together.
I wouldn't say I really had anything that was too frustrating. Perhaps, yes. Luckily, I had a friend who could edit it all for me. If it wasn't for the fact that I had a friend, I wouldn't have known what to do, because I can't edit a video or put it together. So I suppose for most people that would be the hardest thing. And also just, you know, going out and getting all the forms signed by the people who you have provided childcare for. You know, going back, getting them to fill out all these forms, inputting all the data onto the web page. But yeah, other than that,
with regards your arrival in the United States and the experience that you had with au pair care, them picking you up from the airport, the initial induction into becoming an au pair, could you tell us about your experience, your impressions, and what you felt overall about it?
Well, I was actually lucky enough. I flew from Turkey, and when I was in the Turkish airport, I met several different girls from South Africa that were actually also au pairs and going to au pair care. So it was nice because, you know, a few of us got to sit next to each other, and then we all stuck together, went through the airport together, and then we're picked up by a chauffeur. And all of our first experience, as soon as we walked out of the airport, was wow, these cars are huge, and it was freezing in New York. So we got into this big black town car, and then, you know, he took us to the hotel in New Jersey. Booked in, all very efficient. You know, you get one bag to keep in the hotel room with you, the other one they put in storage. Everything's obviously very safe over there. So they check you in, you know, you put into your groups, and then you are put into rooms with girls who are going to be staying in your area. So with me, I was put into a room with two other girls that were going to be staying in Florida. You know, then every morning you wake up at 8, you go down to the conference center, and they start giving you these classes, and they cover everything from what to expect with your host family. They say you aren't the maid, you're not supposed to do everything. But you are there to take care of the children, so you are expected to clean up after the kids and do their laundry and etc. They also covered, you know, CPR with us, and the area director that you will have in America, what questions to ask your area director, and you know, like simple things like who pays for your gas to go to college. Obviously, it's supposed to be your host family, so it's things that they teach you, just making sure that you have the correct knowledge when walking into the situation with your host family. They also offered a great thing, which was a tour into New York City. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was probably about $25. I can't really remember. $40, sorry, $40. I stand under correction. It was a while ago for me. And so the first night they take you out on a tour of New York City, and you get to see everything. Unfortunately, the Statue of Liberty was a little bit too far across the water. The next day you wake up at 8 again, and then also each au pair is required to do an orientation project, and at the end of the second day they mark your orientation project, and you basically can win prizes. And I was lucky enough to win another trip back into New York for a tour. So I was really thrilled about that, because overall I won the best orientation project, so it was a little feather in my cap. The only thing for me was it was very tiring, because you get up every morning at 8 and you have class from 8 to 5. And as I said, you cover various different things, and then you have a set time for breakfast in the morning, a set time for lunch, and a set time for dinner. And usually you go to bed, everyone goes to bed early around 8, but you wake up the next morning, and it's a continuous cycle. And for me, I was still jet lagged the whole time when I was in New York. When I got to my host family on the Thursday, I wasn't required to work, and they basically gave me that first weekend off. So I slept the entire weekend because I was still jet lagged, because you don't have a chance to recover from it while you're in orientation. But all the women that conduct the seminar there are all really nice. You know, they answer any questions you might have. And, you know, it's really interesting to see how many girls there are from South Africa, and then to also meet all these different girls from all over the world, start learning about the different cultures. Like for me, it was interesting to see that the French people were actually generally the ones that English, you know, they spoke English the least. And they came to me and they said, "Where are you from?" So I said, "No, I'm from South Africa." And, you know, the one girl pointed to my skin. She's like, "But why are you white?" And so they were, you know, I think the least knowledgeable, but that was just me. And it was interesting, you know, to find out about the Brazilian culture, you know, what they do in certain situations. And you really talk, you get put in groups. You're not allowed to be in a group with people from your own country. So you put with a whole lot of different groups, so you get to interact and you honestly learn so much. And it's such a great experience to be able to go out there and, you know, just have this wonderful time out there and learn so much from it.